All right. So remembering you are muted. So any moaning, any sounds that need to come out, feel free. The nice thing, we can come together and still be in privacy. So we'll just come to lie down on the mat. And just separate the legs away from each other, legs lengthened out. And if that's not comfortable, then go ahead and bend your knees and stand your feet on the ground. And separate the arms away, comfortable distance away from the body with the palms turned open. We're just going to close our eyes for a few moments and allow ourselves to consciously let go and release. And just tuning into the sounds that you hear, sensing what the space around you feels like. Sensing into the temperature of the room. Noticing the clothing against your skin. And as we inhale, encourage the breath to become a little bit slower. Feeling where and how your body expands as you breathe in. And as you exhale, slowly allow the air to release, sensing into where your body lets go. And as you exhale, allow your face to relax, releasing around your jaw, feeling the weight of the shoulders and the upper back. And relaxing around your abdomen, feeling the waist, the area of the waist and the lower back falling and releasing. Noticing the weight of your pelvis and how you sense it on the mat. How wide is it? And noticing the weight and the letting go through the legs and the feet. And just taking a few more slow and full breaths this way. And tuning ourselves into the vibration of gratitude. Just noticing for a moment how it feels when gratitude walks in the room. Where do you sense or how do you feel gratitude? Is it something that's in your mind that you can have a conscious awareness and say, sure, I've got so much to be grateful for? And can it also be something that drops down into your heart center, where you can really just feel grateful? Or do you feel it in around your abdomen and your solar plexus, or down into your pelvis? Just sitting for a few moments with the vibration, the consciousness of gratitude, and just feel into yourself and notice where do you feel gratitude in your body? And when you're ready, on one of your inhales, bring your hands onto the part of your body where you sense the vibration of gratitude. Again, feeling the vibration, feeling the consciousness with your body. And with your hands placed on that part of your body as you inhale, guide that energy either up or down, depending where your hands are. There's no right or wrong. Just move the energy of gratitude through the body. And then let the hands come back as you exhale to the place where they started. We end up drawing like a circle. So if the hands start in the center of the body or at the heart, they can travel up or down. And then they end up circling back around and up and into that place where they started. And we'll just explore with this for a few breaths. Take your time. You can fall back and again connect with the feeling in your body of deep gratitude. And then as you're breathing in, feel that you're moving that consciousness, that vibration throughout the rest of your being. Feeling that we're magnifying the vibration, we're increasing the vibration, filling up our whole being, filling up the space that surrounds us, filling up the room, allowing this vibration and consciousness of gratitude to permeate our entire home, entire space that we're in right now. And when you feel that you're ready, you'll reach both of your arms up and over your head and take a long yawning stretch, stretching into the gratitude, stretching into the space. And then gently circling the arms out, down, and around, drawing the knees into the chest. We'll hug our knees in and just gently start rocking from side to side. Notice that there's space between your thighs, that your feet are heavy. Notice that the back of your body is falling into the mat. And doing this, moving in this practice today in a way that your entire being and the beings that you come into contact with will be grateful that you practiced today. Noticing what feels really good and feeling really thankful for that ability to feel. Even when things don't feel really good, simply being grateful for the ability to feel, to sense. And then when we're ready, keeping the right hand on the right knee and the left hand on the left knee, we'll take both legs slightly over to one side and circle both of the legs around, away into the other side and back in again. So we end up drawing a circle around our sacrum with our arms supporting our legs, really allowing any ideas of right and wrong to fall away, and just tuning in deeply to how things feel. We can slow down even a bit more, feeling the weight of the body falling back into the ground so that we're offering the back of our pelvis, the back side of our body, a massage. And if you find any areas that feel a little tender or want a little extra attention, you can draw some small circles on those areas. And whenever we find areas in ourselves that might feel like they just do a little extra or they need a little more time today, thank them. And so if you find that one side is sore or tight or whatever it might be, have the pause to realize that part of yourself probably works extra hard to sustain you, to take care of you, to protect you. Have the pause to thank it. And when you're ready, reverse the direction of your circle if you haven't yet. You're welcome to keep the eyes closed. Keep that feeling of dropping back into gravity. Feeling grateful for that force that supports us, that keeps us whole, that keeps us anchored and stable, that asks for nothing in exchange. And one more time, when you're ready, reversing the direction of your circle. And when you feel like you've had enough, pausing into the center, we'll hug the knees in one last time and then interlace both hands on the right knee. Place the left foot down on the mat and just take 2 slow and full breaths while you're there. And as you exhale, notice how the sole of your foot rests into the ground, how the right knee rests into the chest. And on the following exhale, very gently drag your left leg all the way out along the ground, keeping the leg heavy and on the ground. And notice how the sensations might change there. And again, falling into the realization that we are so blessed, that we have such intense gratitude for our ability to feel, our ability to move through our hips, to sense into our toes. And as we inhale slowly and fully, reflect back on where you felt gratitude in your body and notice if you can still tap into it. Notice if it moves. Does it expand or does it move around? And now the seat of gratitude is felt somewhere else in your body. And just taking one more slow and full breath while you're there. And when you feel ready, keeping your left foot heavy on the ground, just gently drag the left heel in. We'll hug both knees into the chest again. Notice if one side feels a bit different than the other now in the way you can pull the knees in. And then we'll interlace our hands on our left knee and place our right foot firmly on the ground. And again, notice your ability to feel with the sole of your foot. Feel all of the toes, the 5 toes of the right foot on the ground now. As you inhale slowly and fully, notice where you feel yourself expand. And as you exhale, just allowing yourself to fall back into the mat. And when you're ready, dragging the right leg all the way out. And again, notice the sensation. How does it feel around the hip? How does it feel in general? Where does sensation arise for you? And in your heart, really celebrate your ability to feel sensation. As you're exhaling, continue to remind yourself that you can release the expression on your face. You can relax around your eyebrows and your jaw. And then once again, as you're breathing, dragging your right leg all the way back in, hugging both knees back into the chest one last time. This time with the right hand on the right knee and the left hand on the left knee. We're going to separate the knees and circle them out, around, back together again, so that the legs are moving away from each other, but yet they're only moving in the length of the arm. So within what your arms can support, keeping your hands wrapped around your kneecaps. And notice the way that your breath synchronizes with your circles. Is it consistent? So is there a pattern? As you inhale, where are you in the movement? And as you exhale, where are you in the movement? And then when you're ready, reverse the direction of your circle. Do right and left legs or hips feel like a mirror image of each other? Is there a balance? And we'll do that one more time. And again, whenever you feel ready, reverse the direction of your circle one last time. And then when you feel ready, hugging the knees into the chest and placing both feet down on the ground now. And just sensing into both of the feet, feeling how they connect with the mat, how they support our spine. And on our following inhale, we'll reach both of the arms back up and over the head. Exhaling and taking a long yawning stretch. And then interlacing the hands here, making a comfortable pillow for the back of the head, just allowing the head to drop back into the hands. And as you feel your following inhale, allow your right knee to drop out to the side. Stand down into your left foot, reaching your left knee away from you, feeling like you're letting your head and your shoulders and ribs fall back into the mat. As you're ready, release the pressure of the foot so that the body falls into the ground. Bring the right knee back through the center and have a pause in the center with both feet standing on the mat again and the breath moves. When you feel your breath moving again, let your left knee now drop out to the side. Stand down into the right foot so that when you press down into the right foot, you feel the right side of your body rolling away from the mat, yet your intention is to keep falling back. As you're ready, release the pressure under your foot so that your hip and then your left knee roll through center together so that it feels very supported. We're just going to keep alternating from side to side. And be very mindful of how it feels. If it feels like anything gets too intense, and keeping the knees maybe a little closer together. If the opening feels very intense, basically staying away from the movements or the parts of the movements that feel like they're pulling on us, so that instead we could just keep experiencing ourselves able to fall back into the support of the ground, saying thank you to the ground. Thank you for always holding me. Right? If we fall and we let go, the ground will come up and catch us. It's always there. Release the face, release the jaw. We'll just do this one more time to each side. And the next time that your left thigh is opening out to the side, keep it there for a moment. Slide your right foot onto your left foot. Start moving your right knee over towards the left knee. And you can push down into your right foot so that it helps to leverage your body. Letting the knees start coming together, and then your right elbow will come into the side of your head, rolling onto your left side and moving the right elbow forward. Inhale deeply while you're there. And as you're ready, allowing your head to roll back into your hands, opening the chest up towards the sky, letting the right knee come along when it needs to, so that again, we're not really putting ourselves on a big stretch. Let the left knee start rolling in towards the midline as the right leg rolls over. And then the left foot slides onto the right foot. Push down into your bottom foot with your top foot, and notice how that just kind of rolls you over to the other side. It'll pick your elbow off the ground, and you let the top elbow roll forward. Inhaling while you're there. Exhaling to release and allowing your head to roll back into your hands. Keep the legs heavy so that you can feel how the sequence moves down, but then notice when it's time for the leg to rise up. And as the leg rolls to the other side, the opposite knee comes along, the feet just kind of carry along together. The top knee reaches over and that starts to pull the upper body around. And so just take your time with it. We'll keep repeating the same pattern. And really what we're taking our time with is the sequence of noticing that the lower part of the body goes, and then we're feeling how it's traveling up through to the shoulder, in from the shoulder to the head, and then the head rolling forward. Taking a deep breath while we're there. Again, really this idea of feeling gratitude in gravity. Notice how we're able to move through most of the joints in the body, from the bottom, from the ankles, all the way up through the head. And yet we can keep letting go. We can move in complete support and harmony with gravity. Feeling the sense of coming home into gravity. The way that, I don't know, if we pull a fish out of water and it's gasping for air and it's struggling, the gratitude that fish must feel when we put it back in its water. Right? Our container is the space. Feeling like we're getting dropped back into our sacred space where we have plenty of oxygen, plenty of support, plenty of freedom to move in. And we'll just play with this a couple more times. Really make it your own, let yourself fall into it. Just kind of ask yourself throughout, am I doing something? Am I controlling? How can I just let go And notice that if I just let go, I'll just kind of roll and flop through it. What does that feel like? And the next time that you're rolling towards one of your sides, just go ahead and stay there for a moment. You can let the top arm come down and just get very comfortable lying on your side, really feeling like you're cradling yourself, just being comfy on the side. And then on one of the inhales, you'll start to make your way up onto your hands and knees, coming onto all fours. And as we come up, just feeling into the ground with the soles of our hands, if that's a thing, or with our palms, spreading our fingertips apart and noticing that your hands are very close together. So if you look down at your hands, notice that the space between your thumbs is all of like 2 inches, maybe 3 centimeters or so. And bringing the hands underneath the chest and that the knees are also quite close together. And we're just going to let ourselves slide down into the straight arms, just feeling the glide through the shoulder blades. Inhale while we're there. And as we exhale, gently press the ground away, feeling ourselves just gently floating up. So not quite a cat-cow, but rather just finding how we can slouch and gently and lovingly collapse into our shoulders. And then our ability to press down through our straight arms. Notice the feeling of the crown of the head gently moving away from the shoulders. And we'll just keep gliding back and forth there, letting ourselves gently drop down into the straight arms, and then allowing ourselves to press down and rise up. And if you find any big movements in your spine, notice them. Come back to a place where you feel like you're not quite rounded and you're not arched, you're not looking up or in, you're just kind of looking straight down at the mat and feeling that what you're doing is letting your shoulder blades move on your back or letting your trunk move on your arms, right? Whatever makes most sense for you. Explore the difference between letting yourself move on your shoulders versus moving through your spine. And breathe. And sometimes this is one of those little funny movements where it's kind of surprising that we can get tired with such a small movement. Know that it's a short moment, right? It will pass. It's not going to last for too long. Breathe in slowly. Again, if we catch ourselves starting to complain or, right, remind yourself, wow, I'm so grateful I can even feel. I'm so grateful I can sense all of the things that I sense. Right? Knowing that the alternative of ignoring or medicating or feeling numbness, right, pulls us away from ourselves. If we are allowing ourselves to feel, we're moving deeper into our center. And when we feel ready, we'll gently sit back into child's pose. Again, it's natural to feel a lot in your arms and your hands and your wrist and your shoulders. Find the most comfortable child's pose position. And if it's not all that comfortable today, you can always stack your hands under your head or make fists. The higher your head comes up and is supported, the more comfortable you might be. And we'll just take a few breaths here. And as we inhale, we'll lift our head, look forward and up, staying back in your child's pose-like position. So your chest is up, but your pelvis is still down. Make sure that your chest is actually up and your arms are kind of straight. So you're lifting the chest back up, your pelvis is staying down. You want your hands to be kind of close to your knees. So you can walk your hands over to the right side now. Use your right hands to bring the right side of your abdomen over to the right. And then we're going to lower ourselves down and over the right thigh. And again, your hands or your forearms can come under your forehead. Feeling, right, if it's comfortable for the knees, that your arms can press into the ground to keep sending your pelvis back. Now, if there's ever any sharp pain in your joints, like deep into your joints or close to your spine, you want to give yourself space, which means just don't push into the areas that might feel that discomfort. And as you're here again, we're just going to take a few deep breaths, just giving our body a moment to assimilate all of the fluids inside, to move around the shape we're creating. And when you feel ready, on an inhale, we'll lift our head up, straighten the arms back out, coming up slowly, walking the hands back to center for a moment, and just folding back down in your center. Just for 2 breaths, notice if you find any differences between right and left, or just differences in general from keeping your legs and hips in this position. And then when you're ready again, inhale, bring your head up in the center, straighten the arms out. And then we'll walk ourselves over to the left side now, taking the hands over to the left side, using your left hands to guide your abdominal contents over to the left, and then folding down and over your left thigh. Position your arms in the way that feels the most supportive, noticing that your body is shifted over to the left now. And as you inhale slowly and fully here, be mindful of releasing in your shoulders, exhaling and letting go. Noticing if you feel your breath expanding more on one side. And when you're ready, you'll inhale, lift your head back up for a moment, straighten the arms out, walk the hands back to center. One last time, back in child's pose. Slide the arms on the floor, up and over your head. Your head may not necessarily touch the floor when you do that, and that's fine. Inhale while you're here, and as you exhale, you'll slide back up onto hands and knees. Let your body shift forward over your hands, and then inhale and sit back into child's pose. Exhale, gliding forward and up. We're just going to glide back and forth this way, moving as far back and forth as it feels good and safe. And notice when you're gliding forward, ask yourself, am I letting my pelvis move as far forward as it feels it can go? And then as you're pressing back into child's pose, notice how you relatively lift your pelvis up in order to take it back. Find your own fluid pace that aligns with how you're feeling in this moment. How do you feel like moving? Is it lining up with the speed of your breath? And you might take more than one breath in each direction, and that's fine, as long as it feels like it makes sense to you. And notice that as you're gliding forward, you may be able to move to the top of a swan or cobra-like position. Notice your arms stay straight the whole time, pressing down firmly into the earth. Keep going, just a few moments longer. Again, tuning into the vibration of gratitude, the consciousness of moving through this moment right now with deep gratitude. And then ask yourself, where do I feel gratitude in my body? Where in my body can I sense the vibration of feeling really deeply grateful for my ability to move? For my container that holds me together, right? That asks for nothing in return, just keeps me together. And on one of these, whenever and wherever you feel ready, we're going to make our way into quadruped, where we come back onto our hands and knees, and we slide our hands back underneath our chest, fingers quite close together. And now we will move through our spine in some cat-cow. Inhaling, reaching the breastbone forward as your eyes and your tailbone look up. And as you exhale, start from your pelvis. Round your pelvis under, let the movement travel up your spine, and your head is the last piece that curls in. Inhaling, the chest guiding through as you look up with your eyes and your tail. Exhaling, the tailbone rounding under, feeling the movement traveling up to your head and your eyes that gaze inward if they're even open. And again, just follow your breath, keep moving. And we'll just do one more. And the next time that you're rounding your spine or sending the tailbone down towards the knees, stay in that round shape. Walk your fingers back towards your knees and slowly make your way up onto your knees, coming to kneeling. Separate the knees a little wider apart so that it feels comfortable to be up there, but not too wide apart, right? So when you look down at your knees or you feel into it, you want to feel like your knees are within the width of your shoulders. They're within the frame of your body. They're not out wider than you are. We're going to bring our hands onto our hips and gently move from side to side. Be gentle with it. It might feel kind of funky around the outer, like lateral, the front side, if you will, of your hip. Explore gliding the hip over to the side and breathe. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do anything. Notice what you feel and just feel what you're doing. Notice what you feel and feel what you're noticing. Does one side feel different than the other? Maybe there is not a lot of sensation. And then when you're ready, we're going to turn this into a circle. So we'll take the hips to one side, circling the tailbone back. We won't quite meet the feet. Notice your head has to go forward for your hips to go back. Then they circle around the other way, and then very gently make it feel like you're tucking your tail under to send your pelvis forward and then around in the same direction again. Exploring, right, the circle around the knees. And if your knees are not so happy about this, the contact they make with the ground, maybe fold up your mat a few times, get a pillow, offer the knees some cushion so that you've got more endurance to stay in the position. And again, if it's not really keeping you from moving, you just feel it's kind of uncomfortable. Well, yeah, ask yourself, how often do I do this? How often do I walk around on my knees? Of course, it's going to be uncomfortable, right? And we know it's just a few moments. And we breathe into gratitude of having the ability to even do this and choose to get uncomfortable on our knees. When you feel ready, reverse the direction of your circle. Where does your breath line up with your movement? Move gently and with curiosity. Explore how far around you can go. And as your pelvis is circling towards the front, be really mindful of tilting the tail, of like you want to curl the tailbone through the thighs and then around and back again, so that we don't feel any discomfort or anything in our lower back. And one more time, reverse the direction of the circle. Let it grow a little bit bigger now, a little larger circle. Be mindful that when your pelvis goes back, your head goes down. So the back of your neck is staying long and easy. And the next time that you come up and around to the front, go ahead and pause there. And we're just going to stay up on our knees just a moment longer. We're almost done. Bring the knees a little closer together and let your ankle bones come together. Inhale, reach the arms out, up and over your head. Exhale and take a long yawning stretch out of your knees. Push your pubic bone forward. And then allow the arms to come back down to the ground. Tuck the chin, rounding through the spine as we curl back down onto all fours. Shift your weight forward into your hands. Tuck your toes now. Sit back and just give your toes a nice stretch. And again, it might not feel so nice, right? We adapt, right? So that's why it's so important that we're spending a lot of time barefoot. Shift the weight forward into the hands, and again, tuck the toes under, give them another stretch. Are you stretching all 10 toes? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. That's okay. Just notice, breathe. And then when you feel ready, we're going to turn this into a downward dog. Lift your tailbone up, straightening the legs, let the head dangle through the arms. Bend one knee as you stretch the opposite leg out, and then switch. We'll just keep alternating from side to side. And notice how you can shift your weight from side to side as you alternate through the legs. Keep allowing your head to dangle through your shoulders. We'll only be here for a moment longer. And then when you feel ready, you'll go ahead and bend both of your knees. Coming back down to the mat. Let's cross the feet, and if it's available, have a seat back. Otherwise, just come into a comfortable seated position. And just notice how your hips feel, how your legs feel. How's the energy around your head, right, after doing what we did. And then keep your right ankle close to your groin and take your left leg out to the side. And notice that if your leg went so far out to the side that now your pelvis can't sit quite down, bring that leg a little further forward and even keep the knee bent. So set yourself up in a way where your pelvis can still stay heavy and grounded into the mat. We're just going to walk our fingertips out to the sides, keeping the right hand planted on the ground. Inhale and reach the left arm up, taking a side bend up and over to the right side. Bend your bottom elbow so that that shoulder stays away from your ear, and then stretch that top arm out long. And again, if it pulls back a lot on the body, then bend the elbow, relax out of the stretch. And you can even play with that feeling of like, what happens if I really reach and straighten my arm? How does that change what I feel? And then as you're ready, sweep that arm back up towards the sky. We're going to cartwheel the arms around and do the other side. Again, feel like you want to lift up towards the sky. The bottom elbow can bend so that that shoulder can stay away from the ear. Breathing in and out fully. And then when you're ready, sweeping the right arm back, out, and around. And this time we're going to let the right hand come down to the mat and let it actually pick up the left hip off of the mat. Bring the other arm around as well. And just kind of notice how it feels to let your hip roll forward, following your hand. Inhale while you're there. Keep your right hand where it is. And as you inhale, reach your left arm out in front of you, over your head, circle it up and around. So you come back to sitting down, cartwheel the right arm back up and over. We're going to draw this big wheel. Breathe into the top side. And then again, cartwheel the arms back up and around. The right hand comes down. The left arm lifts and you let it lift your hip up, and then we turn and we breathe, and then we turn back, reaching the arm out, up, and around, and notice the movement it creates for the left hip, and cartwheeling to the other side. And now we're just going to let it go a little more freely, where we're cartwheeling the arms up and around. When we go to our right side, both hands come. When we're moving towards the bent knee, both arms go. And then the outer arm lifts back up. We sit the hip back down and we move towards the long leg. 2 more times. Make it your own. Play with it. Right, if you feel like there's more space you want to explore, maybe bring the elbows down when both hands turn to the right. Straightening them back up. Almost feeling like where the long leg, the straight leg, is acting like a heavy weight that allows us to pull our spine and our hips out of it. Right, the bent leg, notice how it acts like an anchor. It creates a fixed place for our movement to be anchored down into gravity. Last time. And when you find yourself coming back through the center, just pause there. Again, bring your legs in. If sitting crisscrossed is comfortable, sit that way. If it's not, sit in the way that is the most comfortable for you. It can be with your feet out with your hands holding on to your knees, whatever you need to do so that you feel the greatest amount of ease. And just close your eyes for a moment and notice. How does one hip sit into the ground as compared to the other? If you sense into that area around your pelvis and your low back and waist and shoulder and up around your neck and the side of your head, does it feel like one side of the neck and head is even different than the other? For a second, again, tap into that deep appreciation for your ability to even explore and sense, your ability to feel and notice, even when you're not sure of what you're noticing. And then when you're ready, you're going to stretch your other leg out now. The right leg will reach out, the left heel will stay close. And again, ask yourself, am I comfortable here? Am I okay with this starting position? If I'm not sure about it, fidget, change it around, bring the leg in closer. Does the pelvis drop heavy? It doesn't matter if things are lined up, because ultimately the lining up depends on how it feels. And when you're ready, you'll open your arms back out. We can lift them into a T. We're going to cartwheel out and over to the left side towards the bent knee, placing the hand on the mat, bend the bottom elbow as you bring the top arm up and over and breathe long through the top arm, straighten the elbow out. Notice how that feels. And then take that arm back up and around, cartwheeling to the other side. Be gentle with yourself as you move. It's like having that playful curiosity. What if I go a little bit more? What if I pull back and I go a little bit less? What changes? We're just going to keep going with the basic cartwheel from side to side at first. Again, make it your own. When your breath changes, when you feel that you're ready to move, then you move. If you're exploring and you're sensing into stuff, then stay. How does the weight under the pelvis change? When is it heavier? When is it lighter? Keep moving. Again, move at your own pace. And the next time that the hand is over on the bent knee side, or over on the left side, we'll keep it there and let ourselves tip further in that direction so that the back of the long leg starts to come away from the mat, and then we'll turn towards the mat. And notice how that turns the top hip towards the bent knee, right? It just kind of happens, nothing we need to force or do. And then when you're ready, release the right arm, reaching it back out in front of you. Then it comes in line with your ear and over your head. You come back to the side. Your long leg will maybe roll out, and then we cartwheel the arms back up and around to the other side. And again, just follow your breath. Notice how when you cartwheel up and around, again, you're letting the hip of the long leg float off the ground. You could let your elbows come down to the ground when you turn in that direction if it feels good. And then as you return, stretch the right arm back out over your head. Let it guide you back up onto your side, and then the left arm reaches and it slides you over. have the time for your breath. There might be moments in the movement where all of a sudden your breath wants to deepen and you catch yourself like, oh, now I'm taking a really deep breath. Pause for it. We'll just do this one last time. Wherever you are, take your time, explore and breathe. Notice how many different angles we have to breathe and explore into. They're literally infinite. And the next time that we come up, we'll pause and bring both of the legs back in again to a comfortable seated position. And again, just pause for a second. Notice right and left. How does the seat settle? What sensations do we find around the pelvis and the low back area? What sensations do we find around our shoulders and neck? What sensations do we find around the sides of our head? And then once you're ready, you're going to open your eyes if they're not there yet. Stand your feet in front of you now so their feet are standing on the mat. And we'll bring our hands behind us so that our fingertips are turned towards the back of the mat if that's comfortable. Doesn't really matter what direction your fingertips are turned in. What matters is that it feels supportive and comfortable in your shoulder. And then walk your feet in kind of close to your pelvis. Look down at your feet and then turn your toes out, let your heels go out. Walk your feet a little wider apart. Just be gentle because sometimes your hips might not appreciate it. So be mindful that it feels okay in the hip socket. Inhale while you're here. And as you exhale, take both knees over to the right side and gently turn to look over towards the left side. Notice how your left shoulder can gently roll back relative to where your left knee is going. Inhaling, your eyes and your knees will come back to center. Exhaling, take the knees over to the other side and your head looks away from the direction of your knees. Inhale through center. Exhale to the side. And again, just keep going. Let the pattern become you. It just keeps flowing from side to side. And as you're moving, ask your body, could you use less effort? Could you use more gravity? You just allow your legs to be guided down and have more of the legs dropped in and the head rolled back. We'll just do one more to each side. And the next time that both of the knees are over to the right side, keep them there. Release the left arm, bring the left arm around and back next to the right hand. Inhale, looking over the right shoulder, pressing down gently yet firmly with the straight right arm. And as you feel ready, let your left arm now circle back towards your feet, your left arm coming behind you again. Both knees rolling up over to the left side. The right arm releases and comes around to the left hand. And we look over the left shoulder and we breathe. And then again, releasing the right arm, the right hand traveling down towards the feet and behind as the knees come up and over. The left arm releases and we turn. And we're just going to keep going. Just feel into all the parts. Notice that your eyes finish the movement. Notice that you're letting your eyes have that moment to look around. Notice if you can see more of what's behind you. I couldn't see the screen before when I turned this way. Now I can. Do you find that your stretch, your range is increasing? Can you see a little further behind you? Again, be gentle, but be curious. How far can you go? How far can you see? And we'll just go one more time to each side. And the next time that we're centered and we feel that we're ready, we're going to pause in the center. And again, just have a seat. Just sit up comfortably on your pelvis, whatever feels the most comfortable. And just take a second and notice how your back is feeling. How is your pelvis feeling? Overall, how are you feeling? And on our following inhale, we'll reach our arms back up and over our head. Exhale and take a long yawning stretch in your seated position. And then we'll take the hands back down into the mat, making our way back onto our hands and knees. If we can flip over the knees or we take our legs over to the side, whatever's the best for us right now. And this time we're going to bring our knees close together and bring our hands close together. Inhale and set yourself up. And again, when you're setting yourself up, always check in. How do I feel? Does this feel right? And notice if your mind tends to go to does this look right? Close your eyes so that you can see from within, and we turn more to what does this feel like? And if it doesn't feel right, then fidget around, shift things until it feels better. And when you're ready, on one of your exhalations, slide your right knee forward and step your right foot onto the mat outside of your right hand. And your right hand might have to come away from the mat to get your foot up there, and that's fine. Inhale while you're there. And as you exhale, shift your weight into your left hand. If it's not there already, bring your right foot back towards your left knee and slide it back under you. Shift your weight into your right hand and knee and step your left foot forward. Inhale while you're there. Use your hand, do whatever you've got to do. Take as many breaths as you need. And when you're ready, push down into your hands or your fingertips. Slide your left foot back towards your right knee and then bring it under. You can do this up on your fingertips. You could also put blocks under your hands. If it feels like the floor gets in the way, then we bring ourselves up a little bit away from the floor to create more space. And we're just going to move at our own pace and continue to alternate from side to side. Exhale when the leg moves forward. Exhale when the leg moves back. Feeling like your exhale creates the force that helps to move the hip. that helps to move the leg back and forth. You can keep looking down towards your hands, being mindful, right? Sometimes when we're moving, we're stepping forward, our face might want to move forward. Remind your head, you're actually not going anywhere. We're not going forward. We're going down. We're staying right where we are, and we're just alternating from right and left. We could even do this closing the eyes. Exhale to move the leg through space. We'll just do this one more time on each leg. And the next time that the right foot is outside of the right hand, keep it there. Curl the tailbone down, push down into the right foot, and begin to stack yourself up into this low lunge with the right knee bent, the right foot in front, the left knee under the left hip. Inhale, and again, reach the arms forward and up. Let it feel like your pelvis drops down as you stretch up again, like you want to yawn out of your legs. And then circle the arms out, down, and around, and let them just come at your sides. You can put your hands on your hips, actually. And we're just going to bend the right knee and glide forward a little bit, and then push down into the right foot and come back. Again, when you're gliding forward, let your head kind of come down so you can keep your gaze low. Notice how it feels across the front of the back leg. Notice that the back of your neck and your low back are feeling long, they're easy, and it's really the legs that are holding us. Notice how your right foot weights down into the floor. When we bring our body forward, there's more weight in the foot. So push down into that weight so that you're floating your trunk back and forth, thanks to the energy that presses down in your front foot. Again, if that back knee starts to get a little cranky, remind it it's just a few seconds of your day. It's not a big deal. Breathe. And now the next time that we send our body weight forward, bring your fingertips onto the ground as far forward of your right foot as possible. Tuck your toes under on your back foot. Lift the left knee up, and you can lift your pelvis up as well if that's helpful, or keep it low and just straighten the left leg out. And as you exhale, you're going to step your left foot forward as well, kind of wide over to the side. Bend both knees, lowering down as much as you can, and then straighten both legs out, letting your head dangle down. We're just going to glide in and out of the low squat, and you sometimes have to change your foot position. Your feet might have to go wider apart. Your feet might have to come closer together. Your feet and hips might have to turn out more, or they might have to turn in more. Guess how we figure it out. Right? We explore, we move around in there, we notice, what if I do this? Does this help? Do I feel more weight? And you might feel that there's more weight on one side or in one foot right now because we've only done the other sequence on one side. So you might be able to appreciate the difference between right and left. Maybe not, maybe you feel really centered. Notice again that all the movement comes from the strength of the legs. Feeling deep gratitude for our legs that carry us around, that catch us, right, and move us through our lives. We don't even have to think about it. And the next time that you bend your knees, go ahead and keep them bent. We're going to place our hands on the mat, and we might have to lift our pelvis up a little higher for this so that we can transition back into quadruped, bringing both knees back onto the ground together and fold into child's pose for a moment. And in your child's pose, notice if you can sense either big differences between right and left, maybe subtle ones, not so big, maybe none at all, and it feels quite balanced. And as you exhale again, send the tailbone down towards the ground. We're going to stack ourselves up and over our feet this time in hero's pose. If that's not very comfortable, then just lean forward in that kind of modified child, or modified is like a mix between child's pose and hero's, right? If sitting up on the feet is not available right now. And just take a couple of breaths here, relax your shoulders and your face, no matter what angle you're at. If your body's not vertical, use your arms out in front of you to support yourself. Relax your face. This posture has great benefits for our circulation, irrigation. It's very cleansing because it stimulates the flow of all of our fluids. And now when you're ready, push down into the tops of your feet, bring yourself back up onto your knees, hands on your hips. And for this side, we're going to shift our weight into our right knee and step our left foot forward on this side. Just coming into it a little differently. So now we have our left foot in front. The knee is bent, the right knee under the right hip. Bend the left knee and glide forward. Again, push down into the front foot to bring your body back over your right knee. As your body glides forward, notice that you're letting your head travel down. So we're keeping the back of the head and the sacrum aligned with each other. Right? So it's like if we had a tunnel of light that travels out of the crown of the head and out in through that space between our sitting bones, that tunnel of light stays open as we're moving through, and it stays light, right? The leg is the root that grows down. The more the legs feel firm and anchored and into the ground, the lighter the spine, right? The more we're going to feel lifted up by this force. Just do a few more. Follow your breath. Notice when you're inhaling. When are you exhaling? Last time. And we'll glide forward, place the fingertips just out in front of the left foot, tuck the toes under the right foot, lift the knee up and off of the ground, and if that's just too much pull, lift your pelvis up as well. Keep both knees slightly bent. So find the angles where you feel that you're most stable. And as you exhale, push off of the back foot, step the back foot forward, turn the toes out enough to allow your knees to bend and your pelvis to slide down between your feet. And then again, straighten the legs out by pushing the feet down into the ground. Let your head and your body dangle. And your legs do not need to get all the way to straight. And again, explore. What do I need? What does my body need right now? Do my feet need to come closer together? Do my knees need to turn out or toes need to come in? We're almost done, just a few more moments. What do I need so I can keep this going? Keep moving. Keep breathing. And whenever you feel ready, you're going to make your way back into a seated, comfortable position on your mat. However you want to get there is fine. And just sitting up tall, closing the eyes, relaxing the face. And again, calling into the room the energy of gratitude. And noticing where in your body do you feel gratitude? Different than the mind creating a list of why you should feel gratitude. As you call the consciousness in, noticing in your body, where do you feel the vibration of being thankful? Then go ahead and place your hands on the area where you are feeling the energy of thankfulness in your body. And we're going to use the mind to call in something, someone that really fills us with a deep sense of gratitude. It could be something in nature, clean water, gratitude for something where it's so clear and obvious, that feeling of deep thankfulness. The sun, and as you inhale slowly, bring in a deep breath and really let that vibration of deep gratitude fill your entire being. Setting the intention to amplify the connection with the consciousness of gratitude. Really sit in and soak
that awareness. Staying in this frequency of thankfulness, bring into your mind someone or something that also makes you feel a deep sense of gratitude. Maybe someone in your life overcoming an obstacle, maybe something that you have in your refrigerator or in your home. Bringing the energy of gratitude now around something that is a little denser, that is more material, that is more of the world. And recognizing and acknowledging whatever that thing, person, or situation is in your mind. And just acknowledging how much gratitude you're carrying, you're holding in yourself in light of that or of them. Let it bring a gentle smile on your face. And as we're inhaling, really basking in this energy, in this field of deep thankfulness and gratitude. And as we exhale slowly, feeling that we are amplifying the vibration of thankfulness in the field that surrounds you, the field that we share, that connects us. And staying very anchored in the vibration of deep thankfulness, use your mind to project that energy out into areas, situations, people, other consciousness that need this vibration, that perhaps areas where we're challenged to feel a deep sense of gratitude. Inhaling, anchoring back into your vibration of gratitude. And as you exhale, sending it out into areas that need it. And after your following exhale, exhaling the air out, feeling that you close yourself, that you contain your energy, releasing any attachment to those external situations, people's, places, consciousnesses, or things where we sense, right, that they need a higher frequency of gratitude, where we sense that they challenge our frequency of gratitude. Release any attachment to them. Let go of the outcome. And bring yourself back to the first image, to a universal image like water or sun, that will again produce and amplify the consciousness of gratitude within you. And allowing your breath to just simply be your breath without control. And in your mind's voice, as you inhale, vibrating the sound thank. And as you exhale, you. As you inhale, thank. As you exhale, you. And when you feel that you're ready, on one of your following thanks and inhales, you'll reach both arms up. Exhale your palms together with the sound you, bringing them down into your heart center, thanking yourself. And again, inhale, reach the arms out, up and around with a big thank. Exhaling them down into your center with a big you. Keep going. Thank you. One more time. And just keeping the head bowed down for a few moments into your palms together in prayer. Setting the intention to stay humble enough so that we may always be able to tap into the frequency of gratitude. As it is from the fertile energy of gratitude that we step into the higher vibrations of joy, of freedom. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And thank you all so much for tuning in today.